Have you ever wondered why you can picture your dream life so clearly, yet it never seems to show up? You visualize every day, you feel the emotions, you see yourself living that perfect life, but then reality stays exactly the same. Maybe you get a small sign here and there, a brief moment that gives you hope, but then you're right back where you started. Same problems, same circumstances, same life. If this sounds familiar, I have some news for you. Visualization alone doesn't create your reality. Your energy does. Here's what most people don't understand about manifestation. The universe doesn't respond to your wishes or your vision boards. It responds to who you're actually being on an energetic level. Think of it like a radio station. You can wish all you want to hear your favorite song, but if you're not tuned to the right frequency, you'll never hear it. The song is always broadcasting, you just need to match its frequency. Your energy works the same way. Every thought, every emotion, every action you take is broadcasting a signal to the universe, and the universe simply mirrors back whatever signal you're sending out. The quantum field doesn't analyze your goals or count your positive affirmations. It simply reflects the frequency you're transmitting, and that frequency doesn't come from your desires, it comes from your sense of self. Not the identity you talk about, but the one you actually live from. The one that affects how you walk into rooms, how you handle quiet moments, how you show up when nobody's watching. So what does this look like practically? If you visualize wealth but operate from spending anxiety, your field registers anxiety. If you envision love but push away compliments or avoid intimacy, your field detects withdrawal. If you imagine success but talk about your situation like you're stuck, your field accepts that story. The field doesn't judge your dreams, it measures your internal consistency. This is why so many people feel frustrated on their manifestation journey. They're doing all the right things, meditating, journaling, visualizing, but nothing seems to change. Why? Because their mind and body aren't aligned. They're trying to manifest with their thoughts while their body is still broadcasting fear, lack, or survival mode. The result is mixed signals, and the quantum field reflects that confusion right back to them. Here's where real transformation happens. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions all send the same message, the field has no choice but to reflect that unity back to you. This is called coherence, and when you're in this state, your frequency becomes clear, powerful, and magnetic. That's when reality starts reshaping itself around you. Think about it this way. Wanting without identity creates chaos, but when your identity matches your desires, your signal becomes crystal clear. The field doesn't respond to wanting, it responds to knowing. So how do you embody that knowing, especially when you don't have external proof yet? You create the proof internally. You start showing up as the version of yourself who already lives the reality you've been visualizing. You stop waiting to feel successful and start carrying yourself like someone who already is. Not because you're pretending, but because you're remembering who you really are underneath all the doubt. This isn't about manufacturing confidence. It's about discovering the frequency of already being and operating from that space. So why is it so difficult to maintain that I already have it feeling? Because your entire life has trained you to operate from a frequency of someday. You've been taught to work hard first, then deserve good things, to wait for the right time, to earn your place, to prove you're worthy. But manifestation works backwards. You need to become the person who already has what you want before you actually have it. At first, this feels weird. It feels like you're lying to yourself, but that's just because your nervous system isn't used to operating at this new frequency yet. The version of you who already lives your dream life isn't somewhere in the future. They're right here, right now, operating at a different frequency, a more stable one, a more embodied one. This brings us to what most people misunderstand about embodying as if. These three words have been oversimplified, even ridiculed, because on the surface, they seem like acting, like forcing, like you're wearing a mask hoping the universe will buy it. But truly embodying as if isn't acting, it's frequency conditioning. When you embody as if it's already yours, you're training your nervous system to match your desired reality before the world gives you permission. You're not waiting for evidence, you're creating the evidence. And by doing this, you're sending a clear, consistent message to the field. I'm ready. I've embodied this. Reflect it back to me. This isn't easy because your current circumstances might still show the old you. Your bank account might still reflect lack, your relationships might still mirror old patterns, and yet you're being asked to operate from the new frequency anyway. Why? Because that's how energy becomes matter, not through waiting but through identity. So how do you practice this? Start small. You don't need to revolutionize your entire life overnight. You need to change how you move through it. How you talk about yourself, how you carry your body, how you respond when something good happens. Do you fully receive it, or do you question if it's real? Each of these small actions tells the field what you believe you're worthy of receiving. If you were already living your highest reality, how would you start tomorrow? What would you wear even if nobody would see? How would you breathe? How would you nourish yourself? How would you move through the world? This isn't about appearance, it's about energetic presence. Would you still shrink your energy in certain situations? Would you still apologize for being authentic? Would you still ignore your inner knowing to keep the peace? Or would you start choosing like someone who deeply trusts themselves, like someone who no longer needs to get the thing because they've already become the person who has it? When you shift your signal, everything connected to you starts adjusting. That's why some people call this quantum transformation, because your choices, subtle as they seem, work like ripples dropped into the field, creating waves far beyond what you can see. So instead of asking, when will this manifest? Ask, how would I move today if I knew it already had? This is where your actions stop being reactions and start being magnetic. When your words, energy, and presence start aligning with the reality you've been envisioning, you're no longer trying to pull something toward you. You're simply being the version of yourself that's already in harmony with it. But here's what most people don't understand about this process. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Your nervous system has been running the same programs for years, maybe decades. It's comfortable with limitation, familiar with struggle, used to the frequency of not enough. So when you start transmitting a new signal, your body might resist at first. This isn't failure, this is recalibration. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're between stations, you get static. That static isn't proof that the clear station doesn't exist. It's evidence that you're in the process of finding it. Your manifestation journey works the same way. Those moments of doubt, those days when old patterns resurface, those times when you catch yourself slipping back into scarcity thinkings is all part of the tuning process. The secret is what I call frequency anchoring. Every time you notice yourself operating from the old frequency, you have a choice point. Instead of judging yourself or getting frustrated, you simply redirect. You ask, what would the version of me who already has this be thinking right now? How would they be feeling? What would they do next? And then you make that choice, even if it's just for the next 5 minutes. These small redirections are incredibly powerful because they're training your brain to default to the new frequency. Science shows us that our brains are constantly rewiring themselves based on our repeated thoughts and behaviors. Every time you choose the elevated response over the conditioned one, you're literally building new neural pathways that support your desired reality. But there's another layer to this that connects directly to how energy works. When you consistently choose thoughts and actions that align with your desired reality, you're not just changing your brain, you're changing your electromagnetic field. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that's 60 times greater than your brain's and can be detected several feet away from your body. When your heart and brain are working together, when your emotions align with elevated thoughts, this field becomes incredibly powerful. Research shows that when you're in the state of coherence, you actually influence the quantum field around you. You become what scientists call a coherent emitter. This means you're not just visualizing your desires, you're broadcasting them through your entire electromagnetic system. And here's what's remarkable. You start to see the field responding. People treat you differently. New opportunities appear. Synchronicities happen, not because the universe suddenly picked you, but because your signal became powerful enough to cut through the noise. You stopped scattering your energy into maybe and started embodying already mine. Now, this is coherence. This is how manifestation actually works, not through begging or scripting or trying harder, but by becoming the signal your future self already broadcasts. And yes, the mind will try to interfere. It will say, but we don't have that yet. It will ask, aren't you worried you're being unrealistic? That's not your truth. That's your history trying to keep you in your limitations. Let it speak, then keep moving forward. Because this isn't about convincing anyone else. It's about training your field to accept what your soul already knows. So today, speak one sentence like it's already done. Make one decision like you're already there. Take one action like it's already yours. Because the more you act like it's already yours, the more the field accepts you as such. And when the field accepts you, reality rearranges itself to match your signal. There are times in your journey when everything seems to pause. You've done the inner work, you've stabilized your energy, you've stopped chasing, and yet no major changes seem to be happening. But something inside feels different, your thoughts are quieter, your nervous system feels more secure. You start noticing small shifts in how you respond to life, and then it happens. A number starts appearing, showing up naturally. 3 digits that seem to follow you through time, places, screens, clocks, receipts. It's 777. You might notice it and brush it off as coincidence, but part of you, the part that's more sensitive now, knows it's not random. It's communication, a gentle activation, an energetic confirmation. You weren't looking for a sign, and that's exactly why it appeared, because the field doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to alignment, and 777 only shows up when your field is aligned deeply enough for the quantum to communicate back. It's not saying your manifestation is coming. It's confirming that you've become an energetic match for what's already been surrounding you. In spiritual teachings, the number 7 represents divine wisdom, inner knowing, spiritual mastery. When it appears 3 times, it goes beyond simple numerology. It becomes an energetic signature of alignment. Not perfection, but consistency. It means your thoughts, actions, and emotions are no longer working against each other. You're no longer trying to manifest a reality from a body that doesn't feel worthy to receive it. You've reached coherence, maybe not perfectly, but consistently enough to shift your timeline. In quantum understanding, 777 appears when the wave of possibility is about to collapse. You're still in the field of infinite potential, but your signal is drawing reality toward one specific manifestation, the one you've been tuning into through your emotional consistency and inner transformation. The field has recognized you, not through words, but through frequency. And this number isn't a reward. It's a harmonic echo. It appears not to give you something, but to mirror what you've already become. The appearance of 777 often coincides with what I call reality convergence points, moments when multiple possibilities are aligning. In quantum mechanics, we know that all possible realities exist simultaneously. When you see 777, you're approaching a convergence point where your consciousness is about to collapse into the timeline that matches your sustained frequency. This is why the period immediately following these synchronicities is so crucial. Many people see the signs and then unconsciously relax. They interpret 777 as permission to stop doing the inner work. But actually, it's an invitation to deepen your focus. You're at the threshold. The wave is about to collapse. This is when your commitment to maintaining the frequency becomes most important. During this phase, you might notice what seems like resistance from your external environment. Old patterns might intensify before they dissolve. Unexpected challenges might appear. This isn't the universe testing you. It's the old reality structure reorganizing itself to accommodate the new frequency you're embodying. It's like renovating a house while you're still living in it. There's temporary chaos, but it's in service of the transformation. And here's where most people miss its significance. They interpret 777 as permission to relax, to step back, to say, it's handled now. But this moment isn't about stepping back, it's about anchoring deeper. It's a doorway, and your job isn't to celebrate prematurely or return to passivity. Your job is to maintain the signal, stay in the flow, let the field continue aligning with you without interference. 777 represents more than confirmation of alignment. It's also an invitation to deepen your presence, to stop seeking and start being, to notice how your body feels right now in this moment and ask, is this how the version of me who lives that reality would feel? Would they rush? Would they doubt? Or would they trust the foundation being built beneath the surface? Because that's what this represents, a foundational shift. You're not manifesting a result. You're rewiring the core of who you are, how you think, feel, move, speak, choose. The field is responding to that identity. And the number isn't predicting what's coming, it's validating what's present. And if you sense that, not just intellectually but energetically, if something within you recognizes this message as perfectly timed, then breathe and let your system absorb it. Let your nervous system feel safe in this validation. Let your heart open to the understanding that you're no longer becoming aligned. You already are. That the shift isn't approaching, it's stabilizing. That what you've been envisioning isn't a fantasy waiting to be reached. It's a frequency you finally accessed. Maybe nobody told you this, but manifestation isn't the art of getting what you want. It's the art of remembering who you really are. And every frequency you've been trying to access, abundance, peace, love, purpose, already exists within that remembering. It's not outside of you waiting to be earned. It's inside you waiting to be stabilized. The truth is, you've experienced it before. You've had moments, glimpses of alignment, times when everything felt perfect for no logical reason. Moments when your heart opened spontaneously, when the right words came, when you made a decision that felt like it came from a deeper place. Those weren't accidents, they were previews of the self you're becoming more consistently, and the life that version of you naturally creates. Quantum manifestation isn't about forcing those moments to happen more often. It's about expanding your capacity to stay in them, to make those states your baseline, to become someone who doesn't need to visualize because you're already resonating with what you once imagined. And this shift isn't something you'll notice overnight, but it is something you'll recognize in subtle ways. Life starts responding differently, a conversation that flows unusually well, a sense of inner calm despite outer chaos, a decision made without endless analysis. These are the signs that your signal is stabilizing, that you're no longer reaching toward the field. You're integrated with it, broadcasting a frequency that no longer compromises with your past. And this matters because the old identity will still speak. It'll say, "You're not ready. Who do you think you are? You need proof first." It'll try to pull you back to your history, and each time you notice it, you'll have a choice. Do I replay the old story again, or do I hold the new one for just one more moment? There's no greater transformation than this. And the more you return to it consistently, the more your nervous system learns that it's safe to exist here. Not just visit this frequency, but live in it, to make this alignment your natural state, not because life is perfect, but because your coherence no longer depends on external circumstances. You've integrated the field, you've learned to trust it, and it trusts you in return. So breathe right now, really let yourself absorb all of this. Let it integrate into your system, not as new information, but as remembered wisdom. Feel your energy settle into the knowing that you've already transformed. You're not waiting for the quantum shift, you are the quantum shift. And if something in this exploration met you at exactly the right moment, if it helped you connect a piece that's been floating just out of reach, then maybe this isn't just content. Maybe it's a mirror, a reflection of who you're becoming, a reminder that the frequency you've been envisioning isn't theoretical. It's vibrational, and you're finally living in it. If that feels true, if it feels aligned, then I invite you to stay connected with this space, to subscribe. Not because you have to, but because it feels right. Because this isn't a channel, it's a frequency. And if you found yourself breathing differently while listening to this, you're already in it. We're not just consuming content here, we're rehearsing new realities. We're not just learning, we're remembering. And I'm grateful you're here.